Do you ever wonder why some businesses do so well, while some other businesses just fail? There are products which are well tested, they come out in the market and the timing is wrong. And yet there's other products that just come out and do everything great. You listen to all the gurus, you listen to everybody, and everybody has a different opinion about it. Everybody tells you do it this way, do it that way. But truly, there is no such thing as an handbook as to how you are going to run your business. People will tell you all sorts of things. You learn all kind of things. But truly, business itself is what I always like to call, has so much of human component, so much of human psychology, that this is where the business truly comes to. Not because you're very intelligent, not because you're not intelligent. It is truly business, like they call it in French, jeu de société. It is a society's game. So how do you get ahead? How do you do things? How do you run a business that does much better for you, that does better than other people? Or how do you survive in the business itself? I look at it and I think about it, and I have, after 50 years of being in business, what I know of, or what I can think of, is really we have to look at certain points which are just so important. And these are not something that you are taught in the school. These are not something that you go to school to learn or read books about. But truly, those are the human aspects that make a business a great business. Number one is really the confidence. Confidence is the key to it all. When you are standing in front of a customer explaining your product, before even you start talking, they need to understand how confident are you with what you're going to say. It's the same thing. It stays with when you are with a banker, when you are in front of, or when you're going an elevator speech. Somehow or the other, it's always comes down to what is your confidence. How confident are you? How confident do you look? And it basically, it's your own opinion of your own self. It's your own opinion of the business that you're trying to sell somebody else. And that only comes out through the confidence. And it shows. It shows when you walk into the room. It shows when you shake hands with somebody. It shows when you look in the eye and tell the person about something. I've always noticed that. The people who have confidence, they get my vote right away. They get my attention right away, because I feel that if they are confident of what they're doing, then they will do the same with me. Now, the second thing is reputation. They say the reputation always enters the room before you do. It has such an important currency. It is such an important thing in any business. How many times you will just talk, the world itself, the whole world is a tiny village. We work with the word of mouth. We work with one telling the other how is the other person. You've heard so many times, don't deal with this person, or yes, I've dealt with him or with her. They are wonderful people. So you see, the word of mouth gets to faster than before you meet the people. Many times. And this has happened on and on and on in my life, where before even I have got into a meeting with somebody, I know that these people, I know who they are by their reputation, not by branding, not by advertisement, not by anything. It's just how they deal with people, how they keep their word, how solid they are, not in the business, not financial wise, how solid they are as a person. So I've always felt that we live by reputation. We live by reputation, and that reputation that we need to constantly look after and constantly upheld to. So reputation, After confidence, reputation is one of the most important thing. Then this third thing is truly that business itself is a psychological game. By this, I mean it is really a human effect, because business truly, if you look at it, is puts a tremendous amount of pressure on any person who's running it, be it the CEO, be it a high-end director, or be it just on a small business the people are running. It is a pressure on human being. It's to do you, how do we deal with the situation? How are you dealing? And again, it encompasses everything between your family, between everything else. How do you deal? How do you look? How do you come home the day that you had the roughest day or the roughest discussion with a big supplier, or with your banker, or with your investor? How do you handle that? It's a psychological game. How do you handle this under pressure? What are you doing? What happens if you sold something, you sent out a huge shipment to one of your customers and the shipment went wrong? How do you handle that? This is a psychology. This is something that really works with the human psychology. This is something that works with the human mindset, and say, okay, how do you deal? And so psychology becomes so important in creating or in running your business. It is how you deal with people. It's how do you deal when you are under pressure. And the last one, and again, these are just small items, small things, but this is something that you have to understand. This is something that you have to adhere to. This is something that you must follow and you must develop within yourself. So the fourth thing truly is that do not get yourself lost in the process. Many business people, they start the process, they want to do things, and they want to go ahead in the business, they want to do something. There are words that can come to my mind. They want to fake it till you make it. They want to try to put as much commercials as possible. They want to do marketing. They want to do everything. But there is a process to the business. And that process has to take its time. And that process will follow its own timing. If as a human being, if as a person who's running the business, you lose yourself in that process, that becomes extremely expensive. And so many people have done it. At the end of the day, at the end of 3 years, 4 years, if the business hasn't come out to where they want to be, you really look into it, is because they got themselves lost. They got themselves lost into thinking the end result, thinking where they're going to be, but in the meanwhile, they totally lost during the process. So whenever you're starting a business, whenever you're into a new project, don't get lost into it. Do what the process requires. Do what it is, what you need to do, but do not get lost. And a lot of people do that. So all I want to say is the business itself has so many psychological aspects to it. So to most of the students, to most of the people who learn business, who want to learn business, I say, yes, go ahead. There are books on trading. There are books on how to become a manufacturer. There are books, but more than that, study human psychology. Study what humans do, how to deal with the humans. What are you going to do under different situations? So it comes more as a psychological thing, and more above all, study yourself. How much can you take the pressure? How far can you take something? Because you see, what happens at the end is you're the one who's making the decision, and you better be ready to make a decision under a pressure, because you're going to be having that conversation with yourself. So I hope you get the gist of the matter. This is not a business 101, but this is truly what you need as fundamentals to go into your business, to do things into your business. Now, I hope you like this. If you do, please subscribe to my channel. Please send it to somebody who can use it. This is mostly for the young people who are starting the business, not to get lost in the noise, but to understand what is at stake for the business. Please subscribe to my channel, The Growth Gap, where every week I come up and I tell you how to get your gap between where you are and where you want to be closer and closer and closer. Till next time, I'm Aslam Khatri. Thank you very much. I will speak to you soon.